Thanks, guys. I'm joined now by Oswego alum and SportsCenter anchor Steve Levy. Thanks, Steve, for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me on, Scott. It's a big thrill, and really wish I could be in Oswego tonight. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, tonight is the Whiteout game, just a few hours away. And what are your memories of Oswego hockey?
Some of my fondest memories in my 4-year college experience, of which I had many fond memories. Probably a good half of them have to do with the hockey team in Romney Fieldhouse, which was long before you guys were born, obviously, and traveling with the team on the road, and the relationships of forged with some of the players that are still friends to this day. So the games were thrilling. I mean, it was just it was intoxicating, and it was even before I was broadcasting as a freshman, just to go to the games at Romney as a fan and ride the bus up there and sit and enjoy the action. The place was always packed. The team was always good for the 4 years I was there, always battling for a top spot, and it was just so exciting. Every part of it was just great.
So what was it like to call games here? I know you've done numerous NHL games, but think back to your college days, and what was it like to really get your start here at Oswego?
Well, first of all, it was in terms of proximity we did not have the Steve Levy press box at the time, I like to point out, at Romney Fieldhouse. At Romney, I was probably, I was 15 feet from the ice. I mean, there was a broadcast location like none other. The old Boston Garden used to have the best broadcast spot in the National Hockey League, and you were like right on top of the ice, but you were up a little higher. It was perfect. But Romney was the best you could ever get, being so close to the ice. You could hear the players. And even though the benches were on the other side, you could hear even the coaches barking out instructions. You could hear some of the chirping on the ice. And the penalty boxes were directly in front of us. And also there was a wild and crazy section called the Zoo. I don't know if I doubt they have it in the current building, but it was the craziest fans Oswego had. A bunch of student section guys, and led by my own sweet mate Martin H. Madore, and it was just great to be so in the game. You were in the game, you were in the crowd, you felt like you were on the ice, you felt like you were part of the team. And again, it obviously helped. The team was winning. The team was so good all the time. It made it a lot of fun to call those games.
So how does your experiences here calling Laker games compare to calling NHL games?
Well, the dynamics of it are actually, exactly the same. I mean, the only thing that changes are the names. And so, it wasn't Sean Fitzgerald. It was Wayne Gretzky or somebody like that. So, but it's still, shoots and scores, still dumps the puck in, 3 20-minute periods. And all of that. The press box food is better in the National Hockey League, I would say.
So how do you feel about the rivalry with Plattsburgh? Was it as intense as it is now when you were going to school here?
It's hard for me to judge being so far removed from the rivalry it is now, but I just know that I know how up I got for the game as a broadcaster and as a student, and I wasn't even playing the game, and I wasn't being a real part of the crowd and being into it that way. I was looking at it from a different perspective, and I'm not sure I could sleep the night before the Plattsburgh game. So I will tell you, going on the road to Plattsburgh when I was at college there, Oswego was an awesome experience, because at that time that was the closest we had to a National Hockey League feel. Like, they had a big-time press box. They had a big-time arena up there. They actually had someone come out to center ice and sing the national anthem, as opposed to, like a recording of the national anthem. It just had a big-time feel to it, and I just remember us. I'm not sure, you'd have to check the statistics, but I can't remember a single game in my 4 years there that we ever won in Plattsburgh. And conversely, I can't remember my 4 years at Oswego them ever winning at Romney Fieldhouse. So it was that kind of rivalry. The fans were just so into it. And one of the really neat things at Romney was the Zamboni entrance to the locker rooms was the same spot for both teams. So there was always an issue in the runway because Plattsburgh and Oswego had to come out in the same area, and I had to hold off, wait for one team to go off, and then the other team, and invariably something would happen at the end of the period or the start of the period where the guys are coming on. The fans got involved, the cops were always involved, and it was always chaos. It was just a wild scene. Very fond memories of those matchups.
So how does the Oswego-Plattsburgh rivalry compare to others other rivalries that you've seen throughout your career?
Oswego Plattsburgh it's much more concerted because it's such a smaller scale, I guess. Everybody is so focused on everything that you know all the players, all the villains. Honestly, it's only people from Oswego or alum of Oswego and people from Plattsburgh and alum of Plattsburgh that are into it. I doubt that Cortland people care at all about the Oswego-Plattsburgh rivalry. Nationally speaking, I think people are interested because it's great hockey. You're going to get great emotion, and you learn something about players. It's easy to be a great player when it's an 8-1 score and you're scoring 4 or 5 goals. Well, and that's nice for your statistics, but are you going to score the game winner in a 2-1 game in the third period in Plattsburgh for Oswego? Wow, all right, that's a guy. Now that's a player who steps up in crunch time, can deal with the pressure. And the same for a goaltender. So I think in that aspect, as opposed to when I was calling the games, Devils Flyers rivalries were great. That was Scott Stevens, Eric Lindros, and there was so much tension on that. But those fan bases are so much bigger, and that brings in years and years and years of so many different people and characters. And I guess you could say it's been years and years and lots of different characters. But again, it's on a much smaller scale. But I would say for a college hockey rivalry, I don't think Division I or Division III matters. I'd put Oswego Plattsburgh up against any.
Something an interesting question here for you: has Oswego hockey ever been mentioned in the meetings up in Bristol?
Linda and I, whenever we can, we try to get Oswego in. Twitter's been great for that. I get a lot of tweets from Oswego people. And are we number 1 in the country right now? Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All right, so somebody must have tweeted that to me, so I retweeted that to Levy Nation, which is, 30,000 people or something like that. So whatever I can still do and promote as much as I can, I will. I would have loved to have gotten out to the year that the team won the national championship. I couldn't get out. It was so hard to get to. Anyway, look, it was really hard to get to. It would have taken 3 connections, and, obviously I wasn't sure we were going to get to the championship game, and so I never made it out for that. I would have liked to have seen that. So I guess we're in Lake Placid this year, the Frozen Four. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here.
Right.
I know Coach would not appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be great to see the boys back in the Frozen Four.
And how about a score prediction for tonight's game?
A score prediction for tonight's game. With my heart or with my head?
With your heart, of course.
With my heart, I'll say 9-0 Oswego.
And now with your head.
And with the head, I will say, excellent question. I will say 4-2 empty netter Oswego.
Very good. That's Steve Levy, alumni of Oswego State and ESPN SportsCenter anchor. Thanks for joining us, Steve.
Scott, I want full credit if that score's anywhere near close, all right?
Absolutely, you got it.
And remember, if we win 9-0, I'd like you to also use that version too. Okay?
Yep, it's coming right from you.
All right, send my best to all the boys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, see you.
Bye-bye.